Lionel, is that you?
There, I think I got it.
Hello, Lionel.
Are you still in the vestibule?
No, I've made it out of the vestibule, and I was at the depot today, so I've mixed it up a little bit.
So yesterday you sent a picture on Facebook to some of us, and I said, because it kind of looked like you were in a fairly semi-major yard. There was like 3 or 4 or 5 tracks. And I'm like, where's that? And you're like, I'm in the vestibule for the Polar Express.
So our ride, at the North Carolina Transportation Museum, our train ride route follows the Southern Railway main line for the whole distance, really. But it gets close to the old yard, what they call the old yard, the old Spencer Yard, which was built there in the late 1800s, and they still use it for local trains to work in and out of. So that picture I sent you there was a couple of cuts of cars in there for the local to work whenever they came around.
So your Polar Express goes outside of the grounds?
No, it's on our museum trackage, but
okay.
Our museum trackage at both ends connects with Norfolk Southern, and so there's a yard that we're kind of a yard lead off of the one of the yard tracks at along the main line.
And for those of you who don't know, who may be listening to us for the first time, Marcus Newbacher is the Director of Administration for the North Carolina Transportation Museum Foundation.
Exactly.
Anyways, okay, so that was interesting. So you're still doing the Polar Express as of this recording. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Christmas and New Year's have come and gone.
Well, I hope everyone had a great Christmas and New Year's then.
Yeah, me too. I hope my presents were a hit.
Still waiting on mine.
You're on the what is the AML company Christmas gift this year?
It's a voucher.
Who is it?
Yeah, it's a voucher.
A voucher for
I owe
something.
you.
Yeah, it's an invoice, actually.
I know I've told you guys this story. I must have told you guys this story. My favorite Christmas story is we used to play floor hockey at the Y many years ago, decades ago, when I was in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. And Dave, who was the advertising director for the local daily newspaper, we got talking about letting people go from their jobs. And he says, yeah. I says, yeah. So I had a tough one last year. And we're like, oh, yeah. I said, yeah, it was Christmas. It was our Christmas party. And I was handing out the turkeys. And I had to tell this one guy that he was being fired not to bother coming back after Christmas. And we're looking at him and I'm like, I can feel my face scrunching up. And it's like, you didn't do that. Well, yeah. We were making cuts and he had to go. So
did he have to just tell him this is your last turkey?
Yeah.
Everybody else got a turkey except for this employee. It's like
no, he got the turkey.
He got the turkey. Okay, it's not like a bachelor final rose ceremony.
No. But he just didn't get to come back.
Wow.
Here's your turkey. Now pack your things.
Yeah, basically that was it.
Even micro trains give Kelly more severance pay than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So tonight we're talking to a fella named Baxter Barnes. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
No, it's not your turn yet, Baxter. Go back into the green room.
Who was that?
Yeah, exactly.
He's broken into the studio.
His
his name is Baxter Barnes.
With a cool name like Baxter Barnes, he probably deserves to break into the studio.
Yeah. It is a cool name. You know, it's like could either be a private eye from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
Could be the lead. I would say the lead singer in a sort of pop folk group. You know, plays a six
or a relief pitcher.
Yes.
Ooh,
that's a great name for Baxter Barnes. Yeah, a relief pitcher, Baxter Barnes. What would they call him? Fireball Barnes.
Breaking Ball Barnes.
Breaking Ball Barnes.
I don't know.
No. It's got to be like one word, Fireball or something. 3-alarm Barnes. Boy, if the Jays had a pitcher, we'd actually have won the World Series. The Toronto Blue Jays. Okay, so Derek, how did you come across? You know what, Baxter? Now you can come on into the studio.
All right.
Don't sit there.
Am I supposed to sit on the floor then?
No. Sit in this chair beside it.
Anywhere where there's no stain.
Yeah, anywhere. Yeah, sit in. So, Derek, how did you discover Baxter Barnes?
Well, so here's the funny thing. I've been following him on YouTube for a while, probably at least a year, and I really like his stuff. It's very realistic, Norfolk Southern modeling, and he does really in-depth videos that not just show trains running, but how he did something. So, he had the one that I watched that made me decide I got to talk to this guy. Was he took one of the brand new Rapido GP38s and he super detailed it. And you might be thinking, what would you have to do to a Rapido GP38 to super detail it? But he not only weathered it and added appropriate detail parts to bring it up to era, but he also ended up 3D printing a bunch of parts to make it more appropriate for the year that he was modeling. And I was like, this guy's doing incredible stuff. And then we're talking before the show starts tonight, and I find out that he's here in Alabama, and we've probably met each other at train shows before, and I never made the connection. So another Alabama guy on the podcast.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Didn't they get massacred in the...
Yeah, they did. But, they'll have a number of key players come back for the playoffs. At least 5 or 6 starters will come back for the playoffs. And so hopefully there's a more robust showing.
Okay. Are they in the first round of the playoffs?
They are. Yeah, they're playing Oklahoma. Or they probably have already played Oklahoma at this point.
Yes, they have. And it was, what a game.
What a game. Wow.
The last 3 minutes were intense.
So did you just stumble across? Yes, the last 3 minutes were unbelievable. That interception was, holy moly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like soccer, though, is it, David?
No. A lot of action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll just leave that there.
So how did you discover Baxter Barnes videos?
I think on YouTube, especially looking for, I really like watching videos of well done switching layouts, especially when there's some narrative around like the reason for the train and that kind of thing. And so I think I either stumbled upon it or I was watching another layout and his was recommended to me and I immediately subscribed. And he has a great channel. I mean, the stuff that he puts out, it's not your typical, hey, welcome back to the update this month. This month I did this and this. It's well documented, well thought out, sort of almost journalistic type coverage of what he's doing. And it stood out to me.
Sounds like the guy might be too smart for us.
I think he is. Yeah. I get that impression.
So, Baxter, where do you live?
Huntsville, Alabama.
So how far is that from Birmingham?
About 2 hours. So
yeah.
Not too far. But.
Yeah. Dexter has this thing. He only wants to interview people on the podcast that are from Alabama.
Dexter? Who's Dexter?
Baxter.
I think he put together Derek and Baxter.
Yeah, whatever.
It became Dexter. Yeah.
Dexter.
I like that though. I like Dexter. That's pretty
good.
Yeah,
that is good.
I like Baxter better. Yeah, but see, that's not because I'm my age is between 50 and 100. This is not going to get better. Like, you guys need to
ease up, right?
No, don't ease up. It's good that you pointed out that I said Dexter, because if you didn't, I would have continued to say it for the entire show. So don't.
Every time Lionel says Dexter, take a drink.
Yeah, don't tiptoe around me as I get older and olderly. So, Baxter, are you a native Alabamian?
I'm actually from Georgia originally, which is the area that I'm modeling. So the line that I'm modeling actually runs through the town I was born in and the town that I grew up in.
Oh, okay. So now I'm going to, unfortunately, because of Dexter, I'm going to quit the hobby. Baxter. Well, no, the reason I wanted to tell you that I'm quitting the hobby is because, I turned the sound off on the video, is because when I first looked at your video about how I weather rolling stock, I saw that you did this particular you did this particular clinic for. Don't tell me. Let me guess. Let me see if I can find it. Branch line Tom Hawley's
Tom Hawley.
branch line modeling guys or something.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
So then I went on Google to find Tom Hawley's branch line bunch, and then that led me to the only reference. There were several references, but I couldn't find anything about the branch line bunch specifically. But that led me to something called Railroad Prototype Modeler, which is a really interesting website, which led me to another thing. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to quit. I think it'd be way easier if we just quit the hobby, because it's, you know what? It's when we interviewed Rob Bennett some time ago with our buddy Mike Hauk, he said it perfectly. We were talking about great layouts, and then Rob Bennett said, and all the layouts we don't know about. And that seems to be becoming more and more of a case, that every time I turn around, there's another layout, there's another model railroader that you know nothing about. And you feel like, holy mackerel, look at this guy's stuff. So how did you get hooked up with? Just tell me briefly about Tom Hawley's branch line bunch, because it says it's a sprawling layout built in a dedicated 30 by 50 foot building.
I don't know where the Google AI came up with that, because that's not accurate at all. No, we're a very secretive society. No. So I first met Tom Hawley on the Proto Layouts IO group. Started talking to him there, and after chatting with a few of us, he started setting up just Zoom calls for us to talk about what we've been working on, and sort of morphed into that. This branch line bunch is what he calls it.
So he doesn't have a huge layout?
No, he doesn't. Yeah, I don't think it's the same Tom Hawley, unless it's a giant Central Georgia layout that the Tom that I know has never mentioned. So.
Wow, so there's two Tom Hawleys in model railroading. Look at that. We discovered that just on our own.
I'm more confused than I was before.
Right.
I didn't know about the Proto Layouts group. That looks pretty cool. I'm going to join right now. 700 and something members.
Yeah.
And over 500 posts a month. Like it's.
Yeah. So IO groups is the successor to the old Yahoo groups, which had all sorts of model train and railroad groups on there. And then when they shut down, I don't know, that may have been nearly 10 years ago now, when they did that, groups.io rose up to fill the void. And so Proto Layouts is just a email list on there where all the various members send whatever they're working on, any projects that they're doing, and I post pictures there now and then.
It's an alternative to Facebook, really, in terms of like group structure. So if you want to avoid Facebook, it's a good place to go. And I belong to a couple of groups. I wasn't aware of this one, but it's a helpful place to learn and get tips, because the information is stored like a forum used to be. It's easy to search. And so there's a group.io for the Proto Throttle users. I belong to one called the Modern Freight Car List, but I'm sure that there's still dozens or hundreds of them in model railroading.
Yes, we should try to educate folks about that.
Yeah. So go to groups.io and start searching for things that you're interested in. Yeah. And I'm sure you'll find one.
One of the great things about groups.io as well is that for a lot of the groups, it has all of the archives from when it was Yahoo groups as well. So you could see messages in some of the groups, messages and files going back to the 90s on there. So there's a wealth of information hiding in there.
Really? I don't think I realized that all that information was ported over to groups.io.
Not for every group, but some of them have.
Okay. Wow. That is really cool.
So what's the one that you're on, Baxter, for Tom Hawley's thing? What's that?
Proto Layouts is the one that I and Tom Hawley and a few others chat on pretty regularly. I love the Modern Freight Car List as well.
Oh, you're on there? Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
David?
Yes.
Do you know anything about Groups.io?
Actually, I don't, because once the Yahoo groups kind of went away, I just kind of migrated towards Facebook groups, and I'm on more Facebook groups than I could probably even name that I know that I'm on. So
yeah, like that's the fascinating part about the hobby now. It's just like it's this endless hole of information that you could just get swallowed up in. I mean,
Well, it's kind of like because there's even like that Atlas rescue forum that everybody talks about from time to time, where it's
Oh
this
yeah, I
where it's
love
like
the ARF.
that's kind of like the hangout place for everybody as well. So
The ARF, look at that.
Yeah,
Acronyms.
it's
yeah,
a
go
cesspool. It's
Dexter.
the best. Yeah,
What is the ARF?
the Atlas Rescue Forum.
And what is that about?
Well, so there used to be a phenomenal forum on the Atlas website, sponsored by Atlas Manufacturing, and it was probably the preeminent place when I was in high school and early college. And I think Atlas got tired, one, of people complaining about Atlas products on the forum they owned, but two, I think other manufacturers were upset that they were sponsoring a forum where everybody complained about the products that were made. So they decided to shut it down probably at least 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Atlas Rescue Forum was a last ditch effort to collect as many folks from the old forum to the new forum. And it's not like it once was. It's like all forums. It's kind of, reduced in terms of activity and interest, but it's still, when a manufacturer screws up, it's still the forum where people talk about it.
Yeah, I used to belong to a Harley group, a Harley motorcycle group, and it was like if you read that group and you took it verbatim, you would think your motorcycle would never run past the end of the driveway.
Exactly.
Now on the flip side, I remember in the early 2000s when I was a kid, the big one was also Diesel Detailer forum was another big one at the time, which that's migrated now onto Facebook, and I don't even think the forum, either it doesn't exist anymore or there's really nothing going on to it because it's now pretty much all over Facebook. It's got its own Diesel Detailer forum Facebook group. So
and the other unfortunate thing about the Diesel Detailer forum is that a whole bunch of the pictures were hosted on Photo Bucket as well, so they're all gone now.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
And if you were going to buy something from Atlas, you could buy it from White Rose Hobbies.
Yeah.
Ooh, good call.
WhiteRoseHobbies.com. So that's WhiteRoseHobbies.com. Go there and tell them Lionel sent you and see if that helps. All right. So, and then the other thing I discovered from Baxter and his very first video was Monroe Models weathering powders. So Baxter has this really cool, the first video, if you go to Norfolk Southern, Cedartown District, and HO scale on YouTube, you'll come across Baxter's assortment of videos. And the very first one that he did 2 weeks ago is how I weather my rolling stock. Simple weathering tutorial with an airbrush and airbrush and powders. And Derek just bought an airbrush.
I did. I actually, when I bought it, I bought some generic, not generic, but just some browns and whites and gray paints so I could do some subtle car weathering. And I'm planning on one of these weekends to follow Baxter's process and try that because I like his weathering style. A lot of what's fashionable are the really dramatically weathered cars these days, and I like those. But you can't have 10 of those in a row. And I feel like Baxter's stuff looks subtle and very realistic compared to what you see trackside in terms of 10 cars in a row. And so I'm really excited to see, to try that out. And if I may, Baxter, you fade Norfolk Southern engines like nobody's business. Your NS weathering is top notch.
Yeah, it's very, very good. It's very, very good. It really is. I agree 100%. And so how did you learn how to do that, Baxter? Did you get help or is it just naturally happened over the years?
So my answer to the questions of how I did something can be answered in one of two ways. When it comes to locomotive and rolling stock weathering, it's just Pelle Soeborg's books. So he did one book called Done in a Day that's a bunch of weathering tutorials. And so that's where about 95% of what I do with weathering, where I learned it from.
Okay. And so obviously then you think that's a really good book.
Yes. Highly recommended. It's it's one of the two books that I'd recommend to anyone. So
that book's been around for a while, right? That came out at least a decade ago, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Really
it's a pretty
good.
old one now. So but
I've seen it a million
still hold
times.
up. So
it's $39 on Amazon. They only have used copies. I wonder if it's out of print.
Probably is.
Yeah, you find it at train shows. I mean, it's on whoever has books. You'll see it. Most hobby shops still stock it, I think.
Okay, so now Baxter, I'm going to ask you a question that's going to be kind of embarrassing, I think, and not necessarily not terribly embarrassing, but it confused the heck out of me because I was perusing your videos before we, for weeks and weeks before we did this interview, and about 4 years ago, it was an update on the BNSF Madison subdivision NHO scale.
Yes. So
Which-
that was the layout I was building before we moved to our current house.
Okay. So you moved from Georgia to Huntsville?
No, I was already in Huntsville at that time. I've been in Huntsville for about 10 years now.
Okay. So why? And it seems like your videos have been like your videos are really good, but it seems like 4 years. There was a video 4 years ago. Then there was it starts at 9 years ago, and then at 9 years it stops for 4 years, and then at 5 years it starts up again, and we go 5 years ago, 5 years ago, then 4 years ago, then it stops for 2 years. So every time you moved, you kind of took a break from making YouTube videos, I guess, eh?
Yeah, until I get a layout looking presentable again. I mean, I don't like to show videos of half finished things.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Okay. So now, what precipitated the switch from the BNSF to the Norfolk Southern?
so like I mentioned earlier, the Norfolk Southern line I'm modeling is the one that I grew up around, and when we moved into our current house, I finally had the space I thought to do it justice. So.
Oh, okay. So it was more of a space thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Were you resistant at first to model what you grew up around? Like you wanted to do something else?
No.
No. You always wanted to do an NS layout someday?
Yeah. I mean, I've got somewhere in my stack of files here, I've got a layout plan of the Cedartown District that I drew probably 12 years ago.
Like if you're a guy that wanted to do the Norfolk Southern Cedartown District, it seems like a long leap to go from, well, you know what? While I'm waiting for the appropriate space, I'm going to model the BNSF.
Yeah. I mean, you'll notice that both that BNSF layout, and if you go way back in my videos, the Dakota, Minnesota, and Eastern layout, they're both set in South Dakota, which, I thought it was a neat location to model, something that no one else was really doing. I had spent some time out there a few years ago and thought there were some interesting modeling opportunities there.
What were you doing in South Dakota?
Internship out there
nice.
when I was in undergrad.
Do you mind if we ask you what you do for a living?
I'm a materials engineer in the aerospace industry now.
Of course. He's a rocket scientist.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
Another smart one.
Yeah, another smart one. Yeah, why can't we get any smart people on to be regular on our crew?
The podcast. We can bring all the smarts to us, right?
Yeah.
Well, the smarts come on, but they never come back. That's I guess you could say we make an impression.
Yeah. Yeah, like a flat tire on a gravel road.
Right. So Baxter, how long have you been working on the current NS layout or the NS layout?
Since mid 2022, roughly. But I didn't post any videos of it until it was, fairly presentable. I think the first one I had of it was the one where I had all the track and wiring done and the backdrops up and painted blue and the brown paper scenery everywhere. So it was all nice and clean and at least presentable looking.
And how big of a layout is it?
It's about 19 feet by 17 feet. So,
wow, that's a big layout. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
27.
You see, there's a myth that there's no young people in the hobby.
I know, exactly.
And this guy's 6 years younger than I am, and he's got a layout that big. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah. Like, what's your problem?
Well, before the show started, Derek, we were talking about the Fremo scene in Alabama. And
hold on.
Sorry.
Baxter, you just got Derek in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
We kind of have a rule here in the studio for permanent members of the studio crew that you don't talk model railroading before the show starts because that's what the show's about is model railroading.
Is it?
Yeah, I broke the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't really have much regard for the rules.
That's actually I think that Some people would consider that an insult, but I consider that a compliment.
Yeah, I think that's what we have in common.
Yeah.
A basic disregard for rules.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay, so the layout is 19 by 17. Now, I'm assuming it's in your basement.
It's in the upstairs room that's kind of over the garage in one of the bathrooms. We don't have a basement here, so.
Okay, so this is a 2-story house. It's in a room on the second floor.
Yes.
It must have been a pain in the butt getting the lumber up there, eh?
Oh yeah, it was. So trying to move sheets of plywood up the stairs because we have very steep stairs as well. So
is it an older home or?
the house is about 25 years old.
Okay,
So not super old.
Not particularly old. Okay.
No.
And is there any place other than on YouTube that people can see your layout?
I do post a good number of pictures in the Proto Layouts IO group that we had mentioned, and then I also post fairly regularly in the Norfolk Southern Model Railroading group on Facebook.
Okay. And is there any place where people might see your track plan for your layout?
I think it's in one of the older posts on the Proto Layouts group.
Oh man, that's tough. You know what you need? You need a Facebook page.
I've had one in the past and didn't care to spend the time to keep running one. So
you need to talk to our buddy Scott Smith, who's also from Alabama, and he's
also in Huntsville.
Also in Huntsville, and a university professor. So he's like a smart guy. And
I'm curious, what university?
Alabama A&M.
Okay. I went to Alabama Huntsville. So
nice.
University on the other side of town from A&M.
With all the other rocket scientists.
Yes.
How'd you end up going to university in Alabama? I guess just because that's what people do. They travel for their particular thing that they want to do. I don't know much about universities because when I asked about going, they went, no. Yeah, that's not happening. So you need to figure out a place. You need to at least do a video with an explanation of your track plan.
Yes. Yeah, I should do that at some point. I may have mentioned it in an earlier video, but I can't remember. So
yeah, because that would be important. I don't you guys think that having a David, you do understand the basic principles of an audio podcast, eh?
Do, and it's important to fill in as Kelly when he's not here.
That's actually a very nice thought of you, David.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nice gesture.
Yeah, exactly. He's helping keep the broadcast going. And so, don't you guys feel like, though, that when we're talking to people, like if a person has, people are interested in the layout plan, I find that's one of the most interesting parts of talking to people about their layouts.
Well, the ironic thing is that I feel the same way, and I'm the one out here that has an impossible to find layout plan. So,
well, but I think by the time this podcast comes out, your track plan will be somewhere where we can take a look at it, right?
Yeah, I'll try to have it somewhere if I can remember to do that.
There you go. There goes Derek volunteering somebody for a job.
That's right. Big vision guy. Vision guy.
It is a common a question people ask, though, when you talk about a layout is, do you have a track plan? And I don't have a track plan for mine either. So it's something I need to do. But most I've done is try to take photos that make sense, kind of an overall view of the layout best I can to make it make sense for people. But doing a track plan is definitely the best way to go about sharing, your whole concept.
And I mean, I've got a drawn up track plan. It's just not really out there anywhere. So
okay.
So it's the Norfolk Southern Cedartown District. That's a subdivision?
Yes, that's correct. So it's a branch line. It splits off of the Atlanta North End, about 10 miles north of Cedartown. It used to be part of the Central Georgia main line between Chattanooga and Savannah, but back in the 80s, NS cut out one portion of it, and now it's a stub-ended branch line.
So where does it terminate?
Sonoya, Georgia, which is, I don't know, an hour southwest of Atlanta, roughly.
Okay. So it goes from Atlanta south.
west of Atlanta
West.
down to
Okay.
southwest of Atlanta. Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
You go
Sorry,
ahead
go
there.
ahead,
No, you go ahead. I didn't really have a good question. I just had a question.
Was
Well, I
that
was gonna ask-
originally the Central Georgia line?
Yes. Yeah, it
Okay.
was. So
Gotcha.
That's roughly the same area that Tim, what's his name? The Seaboard Central.
Tim Garlick. Yes.
Yes.
So his layout is his, idealized version of the Cedartown District where
Okay.
where his railroad modded out. I know he's been talking about his expansion that he's starting to work on and building the town of Carrollton, which is, sort of the hub of operations on the Cedartown District. So
Now, is Carrollton where it joins the main line, or is that
no,
not right?
it joins the main line up north of Cedartown, and then it crosses the Alabama Division main line as well at Bremen.
So what era are you modeling?
Roughly 2015 to about 2022 or so. That spread lets me, run some of the more interesting power on both sides, as well as some of the more interesting local operations that have popped up on the line in the past few years.
So you just cut out there. You said 20, what? 20?
Roughly 2015 to 2022.
Okay. And which would be ideal. So now now Derek, you're going to be proud of me for this question.
Okay, I'm bracing myself.
No, you're going to be. I feel like
I'm excited.
I feel like this is a good question that will lead to discussion. So Baxter is a 27-year-old gentleman. 2015 is 10 years ago, so that would have been when he was 17 years old. So are you modeling? You're modeling the time that you remember when you were in Cedartown?
Yes, yeah, that's correct. So, 2015 is when I moved to Huntsville as well, but that was also the year I started driving. And so the summer before I moved to Huntsville, I spent a whole lot of time chasing trains on the Cedartown District. And then, anytime I'm home since then, I do that as well. So
I don't suppose there's any chance that when you started driving and you were on your way to Huntsville, you passed through Hueytown, Alabama.
Do you know anything about the Alabama gang? And I'm not talking about you and Derek.
no.
Yes. Another normal person.
I'm getting the impression that only people who live outside of Alabama know about it.
Yes.
Based on this sample size of 2.
Exactly. That's a very scientific way of looking at it.
I prefer European cars anyway, so NASCAR's not that interesting to me.
We should have that discussion. So you're a Formula One fan?
No, more sports sedans and wagons is what I'm really interested in. So, BMWs, Saabs, older Audis, and so.
Cedartown, you may think, Baxter, that this podcast really has no direction and no real purpose, which you're 100% correct, but we like to think it does. So just before we get on, because there's a lot of chatter about Cedartown, Georgia, it is basically on the border of Georgia and Alabama, and it is east of Atlanta. And west of Atlanta. Yes, I'm looking at my. Okay, Dexter, whatever you say. It's west of Atlanta, right on the border of the state line of Alabama and Georgia. So just for people, we'll have people in South America listening to this, and Africa, and all over the world. So I like to always give people a reference of it's west of the metropolis of Atlanta, and very close to the border, the state line of Alabama.
Yes.
Which isn't really that far from Birmingham, which of course is just a stone's throw away from Hueytown.
That's right.
Okay, so let's now. This is a really interesting discussion that we're going to have to continue on to part 2. As a young person, as a young guy in the hobby, you've graduated university, you got a job in aerospace in Huntsville, Alabama, which is it's an area for NASA and those sorts of things, right?
Yes, that's correct. So
okay.
It's nicknamed the Rocket City.
Rocket City, exactly. And I'm imagining the minor league baseball team there is called the Huntsville Rockets. It's got to be.
No, it's the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Yeah,
So
it is.
the mascot is a raccoon. So
Wow.
That's wonderful.
It's a fantastic stadium too. It's a great time.
I just got a hat because it was on sale from the Akron, Ohio Rubber Ducks. It was $15, so I'm like, yeah, I gotta have that. So that's what I do. Now you guys probably wonder while you guys are scrolling through the IO groups or whatever it is you're doing, Marcus, or David's watching minor league soccer. Many a times you'll catch me scrolling through all of major league teams, minor league baseball teams, single A, double A, triple A, and looking to see what T-shirts and hats they have on sale, and snapping those up. I bought a shirt from the Hickory Crab Cakes or whatever. Crawdads. Yeah, I bought a T-shirt from them for $10. I bought this hat from the Akron Rubber Ducks for $15. That's what I do.
Check out the Kannapolis Cannonballers. They have something. Go Ballers is what one of their logos. One of their statements is one of their.
I'm
slogans.
also partial to the Montgomery Biscuits minor league baseball team, because when you go to their games, they fire up the T-shirt cannon, but the T-shirt cannon is full of tinfoil wrapped buttered biscuits.
Oh, well, like that.
Nice.
And they'll shoot biscuits into the stands. It's a good time.
See, my local minor league team doesn't have anything that cool, but oh well.
It's soccer. Nobody cares. It's soccer.
No, we have the Gary Railcats is our local minor league baseball team.
I was gonna say, isn't your local minor league baseball team the Chicago White Sox?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. They still can't fill their stadium.
So let's start this discussion, and we'll continue it on in part two. So
yes,
Baxter. So you're 27. You started this layout, or at 17 you became you grew up around the Norfolk Southern in Cedartown, Georgia. Like, are you model railroading with other people your age? Are you model railroading with people of variety of ages?
Yeah, so I'm doing most of the work on my layout, the actual layout myself, but I am part of a Fremo group in Alabama as well, Steel City Fremo. You can find their group on Facebook is Alabama Modular Layouts, and that group is almost entirely young people. There's only a couple people in the group that are over 40, and there's got 15 of us there, and we set up 2 or 3 times a year. Mostly at the Coosa Valley Train Show in Gadsden, Alabama. But we're always looking for other interesting venues.
So there you go. So that's a well-run Facebook page, because all I had to do was put in Alabama Modular and it came up, and here it is, the Alabama Modular Layouts.
And it's public, so you love it extra much.
Public,
yes.
So I don't have to join and all that stuff. I can just go and see the pictures. And so you got, and how do you find, how do you feel like as a young person, how do you feel like you guys found each other?
For the modular group, I guess it goes back to right about the time I moved to Huntsville. There were a couple people that I met trackside here, and we've been friends since then. We've ended up met a couple people from down in Birmingham as well that we're good friends with now. And it was a guy in Birmingham that started the modular group after, don't air too much dirty laundry, but after a falling out with a club down there. He started this modular group, and
gee, I can't imagine which club that was.
His name's not Derek, is it?
Yeah, just blame the mysterious Dexter.
Hey, Baxter, do you know Slater Dozier?
Yes, I do.
No, you just said it.
Ago.
You said Dexter.
Did I really?
Yes, you really did. Yeah.
Baxter, do you know Slater Dozier?
Yes, I do. I saw him a couple weeks ago, actually. So.
Oh, cool. Very nice. I know he's a big fan of the podcast. So he's up in Huntsville.
Yep.
Well, that's 2.
There's 2?
Yeah. Actually, I think I should have said 7. That would have been funnier. So don't you? That's a common theme nowadays too. Because talking to guys like Baxter, I find fascinating because at the age of 27, he's never known life without the internet. And the difference between you and me, Baxter, is like for a good part of half of my life, the only way you got to meet other model railroaders, whether you either went to conventions or you went to train shows or whatever, there was no internet, there was no way to connect. So this is a really tough question for a young guy, but do you feel like you have an incredibly connected, you're incredibly connected within the hobby?
I don't know about in the hobby on the whole. I mean, I'm admittedly not one to branch out very much. So, most of the time I'm just chatting with people in the little modular group that I'm in and just occasionally share public stuff.
Right. Okay. But then the modular group's there for you. But it's okay. So the interesting part about this is the way you became part of the modular group was you met some guys trackside.
Yes.
Yes. There was that actual 3D connection.
Yep.
With people.
Yeah. And I mean, that preceded the modular group by about 8 years or so when I met them. But,
and how is there any restrictions to getting into the modular group?
Can you build a module that's compliant with the Fremo standard?
like, would you take a guy like Derek?
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know the Steel City Fremo group existed.
I know. That's the point. That's what was so cool. That's what I find so cool about doing the podcast. It's like, here we are. You're in Birmingham. You've been there over 10 years, haven't you, Derek?
Yeah. Over 10 now.
Yeah. So, I mean, and you didn't even know this Steel City Fremo group existed, and yet it sounds like it would be right up your alley. Like, it sounds like something that you would probably enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah, the Facebook page has over 200 members, if I'm looking at this correctly.
And it looks like they've got a big meet coming June 6th of 2026.
So June 5th and 6th, we're having fully modular layout shows. So normally we set up as part of a train show and swap meet there in Gadsden, but we've got the space for a weekend in June where it's just going to be modular layouts set up in the little convention center there. So that'll give us a lot more space than what we're already using for the layout.
I'm looking at the flyer for the Great Alabama Fremo meet that Baxter's talking about, and I'm a little concerned that there's a group called the Alabama Modular Layouts, or AML.
Oh, look at there.
Yeah. We might have a copyright issue.
Yeah, we might have some legal problems.
There might be an injunction coming your way.
Oh, now look at this. Their post on November 15th is young people don't want to model anymore. And so it's a whole thing, a conversation about, and it says we've got an important conversation to have. Let's talk about them. See, I agree with that. Like, I think there will always be. I don't think it has changed at all how people get into model railroading. You're either in it or you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people like Baxter are doing it at such a high level. I mean, I feel like the prototype you always heard about is you get it back into model railroading in your 40s or 50s or 60s when you retire. But here he is, a professional in his mid-20s, late 20s, who has a layout that is probably larger than average. And he's producing YouTube videos. He's producing 3D printed unit trains. I mean, he's executing at an extremely high level. And I mean, he's just up in Huntsville doing his thing. I think it's a sign that the hobby is really healthy and will survive and keep growing.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, most of the people that are, the active members of the Steel City Fremo group, we're all rather young. So,
yeah, I have to say, when I was up looking at the Fremo layout in Gadsden at the train show back in September, I felt like an old guy there. So it's probably the same group, but I can probably vouch for the fact that they're all pretty young.
And that's similar to the group.
Just go look at the cover photo in the Alabama Modular Layouts group of us, and you'll see that most of us are on the younger end. So,
and that's similar. I was going to say that's similar to the group that we talked with Glenn Fricks a few weeks ago on the Sippin' and Switchin' Society of North Carolina, and they do have some older folks in there too, but they have a lot of young people as well. So it's good to see these groups that are getting together and about the same time frame. Like in my life, that's when I was really starting to get back into it and building a layout. So, but when I was 25, 26 years old and building my first big layout, a few of the people were my age, but most of the people were older people that I had to look up to and get, mentor with and learn about the hobby, where you seem to be able to do that with people that are more your age.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. So
and Baxter, like, if you sound to me like a typical model railroader. You've been a model railroader so as long as you can remember.
Yeah, pretty much. So I've been into trains my whole life. My grandfather was also very much into trains, and it wore off on me. So
see, and I think that's cool too. As the podcast has gone along over the years, I think we meet more and more people whose either father or grandfather were model railroaders as well, which I think will continue. I think the hobby is going to continue to expand rather than contract. I don't see any other thing for it. And I had a really good question. Don't tell me, let me guess. Do you feel like you've always... Okay, so you've been a model railroader all your life. Now, I have a theory about how people become model railroaders. In the hospital, when you were born, there's a fairy, good fairy that comes along and picks out particular individuals and sprinkles them with model railroader magic dust. And that's how they become model railroaders, right from, age 1. And
yeah, that sounds plausible to me.
It does, yeah. It makes perfect sense. I mean, if you've ever been part of watch the movie The Wizard of Oz, you know that there's good angels or good witches and bad witches. So now, do you feel, this is a really important question for me, do you feel like as long as you can remember, you've been on the internet looking at model railroading stuff?
Yes, yeah. So basically, the whole time I've been, seriously involved in the hobby. So, I was in middle school when I got my first HO steel train set, and yeah, I mean, I was on the internet immediately for that. So
yeah, and see, I think that's what's so different about the hobby now, because I think there's a whole bunch of guys. There's a whole tsunami wave of guys, Baxter's age and maybe a bit older, of guys coming that have been, exposed to the hobby on the internet for their entire life, and it makes them even more. This is a question you wouldn't have any idea, but I feel like guys like Baxter are even more attuned and even more excited about the hobby than maybe I was when I was 27, just because of the access to information.
Probably because the information is so accessible, yeah, right? Because like the fact that you can, like, I feel like because Baxter shared a video how to basically build a unit train from scratch with 3D printing. It's like, well, I can go watch that now and do that if I wanted to. Like, you can learn so much more quickly and disseminate so much more information. It's not just what was in the 12 issues of Model Railroad or RMC that year, but there's thousands of posts today about what people are working on that you can access now whenever you want. And so you can pull up 30 years of information in a groups.io, or you can, like I did, just reach out to Baxter, who's started doing this stuff, and message with him about it if I wanted to, right? And so because you have such access to information, you can grow your own skills at a much higher pace than you used to be able to.
Yeah, and YouTube was, just really starting to get big right about the time I was really getting serious about the hobby. And so there was, so much great content on there even back then to go out there and look for, and it just kept growing and growing from there. And that was very inspirational to me and really kept me engaged. So
yeah, I think I don't think we have any idea of how big of an impact it's gonna have on everybody.
I mean, just think about the hobby with 20 years of somebody like Baxter in it, right? When Baxter is in his mid 40s or 50s, which is the prime era for the hobby in people's lifetimes, according to most. Like, imagine what he's going to be doing in 20 years or 30 years if he's doing that in his 20s.
Exactly. I don't think I've been able to verbalize my thought process on that, but that's exactly what I think. You take a guy like Baxter, who is probably as involved and knowledgeable as I was at my 50s, but it took me all those years to find it because there was no real access to information other than the magazines and that you got once a month. And now, you take Baxter 20 years from now, the amount of information he's going to have available to him and the tools and everything else, it's going to be very, very cool. The hobby's going to be way cooler than it is now, because it's way cooler now than it was 20 years ago. And it was way cooler 20 years ago than it was 20 years before that.
And I think we tend to want to pull our hair out and say, how will we save the hobby? But first of all, the hobby's not at risk. But second of all, it's continued to do a lot of that by itself, organically, right? Social media did that. Sort of the way people share information has changed, done that naturally. Like, we don't have to have a concerted effort to centralize how we're going to save the hobby. It's just going to do it itself.
Yeah, and I mean, beyond that, there's so much going on the product development end as well. Just improvements being made there that are huge leaps forward that, both help keep people that are already in it engaged and add extra interest for potentially new people as well. So,
Baxter, so this is the end of our part one. We'd like to do part two with you, which would be on tomorrow on our paid channel.
Let's see. I think we'll do tomorrow night as well for a follow-up. So,
but here's the secret for the production magic. We're just going to pause this podcast and start another one right after.
All right.
But for the sake of production,
come on, Derek. Everybody thinks we put them up in the studio overnight and just ruin the illusion, man.
Right. We put them up at a nice hotel and pay for their dinner and all that. No.
Yeah, this is very much like doing a week's worth of Wheel of Fortune. we 5 shows in a day. We do 2 shows a night. And try the veal.
Try the veal.
We don't quite have the budget for the hotels and all that.
Yeah, or the veal.
Or the veal.
That's too bad. I thought I was going to get better treatment here.
Yeah.
You did get some shrimp. I'm sure you got some shrimp while you were in the green room.
It's veal adjacent.
What was that?
And David not on his microphone.
Yeah, David fell asleep. David Bueller.
David.
Oh,
there's
David.
There he is.
I lost it.
Yeah, how'd you do that?
I don't know.
You're not. Okay, so this particular podcast is on our free channel. It's sponsored by White Rose Hobbies. That's whiterosehobbies.com. They're at 4401 West Market Street in York, Pennsylvania. They're waiting to hear from you. Tell them Lionel sent you, see if that helps. And if you, David, are you still there?
I'm still here. I'm still awake.
Can you give out our email address? Seeing as how you're doing Kelly's job.
Sure. Yeah, if you'd like to reach us by email, positive, negative remarks, please email us at modelerslife@gmail.com. That's modelers with 1 L like Norfolk Southern, not 2 L's like Carrollton.
Oh, that's pretty good. But good. It is, but I would have gone 2 L's like Huntsville.
Yeah.
But
I didn't.
Or Pelle Soeborg.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Marcus with the deep cut.
Yeah. Well, so
all I had was 1 L like vestibule, so.
Nice.
Wow. I didn't have a 2 L, though, so it's a good thing I wasn't called on.
Yeah, that would have been good, too. There's a lot of good ones. So that's good. He's just like Kelly. He screwed it all up. But there's a lot better choices. And 1 L.
We need to get Kelly back.
Yeah. 1 L like Alabaster, not 2 L's like Talladega. Alabaster is just south of Birmingham.
Alabaster, Alabama. That's a kind of a mouthful.
That is a mouthful.
It just rolls off the tongue.
1 L like Tuscaloosa, not 2 L's like Huntsville. All right. And so for those of you who didn't catch our email address, if you go to our website, amodelerslife.com, there's already a widget thing there where you can just fill in your text, your title of your email and your text, and hit send, and you don't even need to know the email address. It does it all for you. And let's see what else is there. Oh yeah, and if you like this podcast, which is on the free channel, sponsored by White Rose Hobbies, that's whiterosehobbies.com. You can go to and you'd like twice as much podcasting a week for just a few cents a day. You can join, click on our Patreon site, and you'll get 2 podcasts every week, one on Monday and usually on Tuesday, but not lately. Although by now it might be on Tuesday. But it's definitely 2 podcasts a week. and if you move up to the T-shirt level, you're entered into the game that's sweeping the globe, and it's called "Hey Dude, Where's My Shirt?" Because everybody at the $10 level gets a T-shirt that's only available to Patreon members every year, plus a little bag of stickers and other stuff, and we send those out when the guy that's in charge of it isn't screwing up. And I think we've covered it all, haven't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you think that went, Baxter?
I think that went well. That was a fun first half. So,
Okay. You ever notice how everybody says they have fun?
Don't worry,
Kinda
I
missing the point.
didn't have fun. This is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, maybe we need to be more serious so people won't have fun while we're doing it.
well, if you're doing the podcast in two halves, you make one half fun and one half serious. And
Oh,
there
there
you
you
go.
go. Wow.
Wait till you see the other half. I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly. So, okay, Baxter, now I know you've listened to all the podcasts and some of them twice, but the appropriate moment, we need you to say "Happy Rails" to you.
All right.
Can you? And you'd say it with. Now the key is there's no dancing, there's no singing, there's no interpretation of any kind. We just need an enthusiastic "Happy Rails" to you.
All right. Happy Rails to you.
Not yet. You'll know when the appropriate moment is.
Okay.
That was not the appropriate moment.
Apparently,
Yeah, it
I
was-
didn't know that was not the appropriate
There
moment.
you go. Yeah, that was very. You know what, Baxter? That was very inappropriate. All right. Well, Baxter, as we close the barn doors on another episode of A Modeler's Life and the sun slowly sets over the back 40, I guess there's nothing else left to do except for you to say,
Happy Rails to you.
While in Busted Knuckle, guests of a Modeler's Life podcast stay at the Casa del Sol Motor Court and Inn, where late night dancing at the Rumba Room is a magical event to be experienced.
It's another Lincoln Homer.
oh no, see, I wanted it to be enthusiastic.
I thought that was good.
Do you want me to try it again?
No, I don't.
All
No.
right.
Don't worry, we do something different next time.
Yeah.
You can't carry that knowledge over. Sorry.